If fear is the only thing stopping us from achieving our dreams, and we only fear what we don't understand, then the antidote to fear is knowledge. All we have to do is find out who has the knowledge that we need to conquer our fears and achieve our entrepreneurial dreams. My name is Callum Walker, and welcome to the podcast that will help you figure it out and conquer this lonely entrepreneurial journey.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the podcast. We're back in the car. I got a brand new little contraption, which I used to have in my old car. But unfortunately, it doesn't allow me to have super high quality audio. So we're going to have to do some AI stuff. But what I'm going to talk to you about today is all about adherence today. All about adherence. And not just adherence like just for your clients, but also for yourself. What is adherence? What is adherence? Well, I think adherence is really can be kind of summed up into I know what to do, but am I going to do what needs to be done? And I think that that's what adherence really is. It's doing what you know that you need to do. How can I execute the plan that I have been given to achieve the specific goal that I want to achieve? And it's being able to consistently take that action. I've been given instructions from someone on how to achieve a specific thing, and I'm going to execute that. Fundamentally, it's changing our actions because, again, if you take the same actions you've always taken, you're going to get the same results that you've always got. So, today's going to be something that I'm just going to share with you that I actually learned from the SAS, which is really cool, around adherence. And this helps me with my own food. It helps me with my clients in terms of the coaches that I coach. If I, do occasionally take on the odd private client who wants to get into shape, this helps me in terms of coaching them to be able to adhere to their plans because I think when it comes to adherence, it can actually cause us an insane amount of pain. Not only us as like a coach, in the sense of the frustration when you've got a client who, knows exactly what they need to do, but for some reason just won't do it. But then also for ourselves, we're really trying to achieve something and no matter what, for some reason, we just keep finding ways to not take that action, whether it's posting content, whether it's jumping on sales calls, whether it's growing our business or whatever. There's always something that we're almost kind of, you can call it procrastination, but, I'd prefer to almost articulate it more as like inaction. And that inaction can really kind of like batter us. And it can batter us for multiple reasons. I think the obvious one is it batters you because you stay where you are. You continue in the habit loop of the actions that you've always taken. So as a result of that, you're just going to continue getting the same results. I said this on a podcast the other day that if you're not happy with your results, you've got to change your actions. But to change your actions, your actions come from your decisions, which come from your thoughts. So naturally, if we're not happy with our results, we've got to change our actions. And to change our actions, we've got to change our thought processes. So again, this really kind of will be a schooling on how we can do that. Because again, like I mentioned, that if we keep taking the same actions over and over again, we keep getting the same results. That can be really depressing. Because we continue to experience the same pains, the same struggles, the same challenges that we're still experiencing now. So it causes us that pain. But then also, I think it causes us a more deeper pain, which is, once again, there's something that I can't do. And it's almost like you're not able to keep a promise that you made to yourself, and it makes you kind of feel like a bit of a loser. And I know that because it's what I've battled with, and what I still wrestle with, where it's like, why can't I seem to just do this really simple thing? And I think for me, what's the thing I procrastinate over is content. And I don't know why, because I love doing this. So, creating content like this, sharing something that is really, really useful to you, and something I really, really enjoy sharing. Um, I think for me, it's more around Instagram. I know Instagram is such a powerful vehicle for me. I get a lot of business from it, yet I procrastinate over posting content. And I think it's because it doesn't really excite me. But there's a way that I almost kind of can get myself out of that thought habit loop. And again, if you've got clients who really kind of struggle to just stay on track and make the wrong decisions, this can really, really help, because you can find yourself in that sort of loop of, oh, I just suck. Everyone else could do this. Why can't I just do this simple thing? Once again, there's another day gone by where I've thought about doing the thing, but I haven't done the thing. Maybe I'm not cut out for it. Maybe I'm never going to make this thing happen. Maybe I'm just not committed enough. You know those thoughts, they come to your head. But this has really helped me, and it's what I got from kind of a combination of what I learned from the SAS and also the Olympic rowing team in 2004. So in terms of the SAS, I'm in a mentorship program with Ollie Ollerton. You may know him from SAS Who Dares Wins. He was actually in the SBS, not the SAS. So for that, I do apologize. But yeah, I've loved being in that program. I really, really have. And he kind of shares this thing referred to as breathe, recalibrate, deliver. And really, it kind of comes down to a really kind of simple and powerful way that we can change our behavior and direct our behavior in a way that is going to be beneficial for us. And it kind of ties in with the Olympic rowing team. Now, you'll see where I'm going here in a second. But effectively, whenever the Olympic rowing team, when they were training for the 2004 Olympics, whenever they were presented with any form of situation, whether someone was like, hey, let's go and do this, let's do this training session, or do you want to go down the pub, or do you want to eat this specific food, they would ask themselves this question of, will it make the boat go faster? So will it make the boat go faster? So i.e., if someone asks me, do you want to go down the pub and go and get pissed? That they would take a breath and they would ask themselves the question, well, is what I'm about to do going to help me row faster in 2 years' time? If the answer is yes, I will do it. If the answer is no, I won't do it. Super simple. So they take a breath, they pause for a second, they then ask themselves that question, is what we're about to do right now going to get us one step closer to the goal that we're looking to achieve? If the answer is yes, then we'll do it. If the answer is no, we won't do it. So then if the answer is yes, they then go and take the action and they go and do it. If the answer is no, they avoid the action and they do something else. And it kind of ties in with, there's an amazing book. It's called Man's Search for Meaning by a guy called Viktor Frankl. He basically said this thing, which is between stimulus and response, there is a gap. And it's in that gap that we can choose our mode of destiny. So if you kind of look at that gap, let's say that someone asks you the question, like, do you want to go down the boozer and go and get pissed? Well, then we take a breath. And in between our response, whether we say yes or no, there's a gap. And there's a gap where we can make a decision as to what action we're going to take. And that action will then result in the result that we're going to get. Does that make sense? So again, remember how I mentioned, if you're not happy with your results, you got to take different actions. But to take different actions, you got to make different decisions. So it's like last night. I went out for dinner with my mom, my dad, both of my uncles, my brother, his partner, and we had a lovely time. And I'm very low carb right now. I'm ketogenic. And we were sat there in the Indian restaurant. And bearing in mind, Indian food is my favorite food in the whole wide world. Like, I absolutely adore Indian food. Like, I really, really do. And specifically, the thing I love more than anything is a papadum. Like, I love a papadum. I absolutely adore a papadum. But, when I eat a papadum, the following day, I feel like shit. I get neuroinflammation. My brain is definitely inflamed. I feel lethargic. I feel tired, all of that sort of stuff. Same with going to an Indian restaurant. My favorite meal is a chicken madras plus. Okay, it's a madras plus. Okay, what is a madras plus, I can hear you ask? Well, I really love a vindaloo from certain restaurants, but a vindaloo can be a bit too hot from this restaurant. But then a madras isn't quite hot enough. So a madras plus is halfway between a vindaloo and a madras. So I just love my madras plus with rice, a garlic naan, and a taka dal. I adore it. But my God, does it make me feel like absolute shit the following day. It makes me feel so bad. So I had this urge and this desire to eat poppadoms yesterday. And I had to take a breath. I took a breath and I went, okay, is this going to help me get one step closer to where I want to be? And the answer was no. I know that if I eat the poppadom, I know that if I have the rice, the dal, the naan, all of that stuff, it'll taste good in the moment, but my God, am I going to feel like shit the following day? And I'm not interested in feeling like shit the following day. So I asked myself the question, is eating this food going to help me in line with my goals of what I'm trying to achieve? The answer was no, so I didn't do it. So again, how does this tie in with the SAS? Well, whenever they were faced with a situation and your habit, your thought habit sort of like kicks in, your habitual behavior kicks in, they had this thing called breathe, recalibrate, deliver. So you take a breath, and I remember listening to Ollie talk about this, where he was in Iraq, and he was in his vehicle, and he got shot at, and he was being shot at, and in that moment, you're being shot at, and your fear response is going haywire, it's going crazy, because you're being shot at. And in that moment, he had to take a breath, he breathed, and then he recalibrated through remembering his training. And then off the back of that, he then took the actions he delivered, which were in line with his training. So it's almost like yesterday, faced with the poppadom. I know facing a poppadom is very different to facing the Iraqi militia. I'm aware of that. But when I was facing the poppadom, I took a breath. I went, okay, I breathed. I then had to recalibrate my thinking, because my initial response to the stimulus of I want a poppadom would normally be, I'll pick the poppadom up, I'll dunk it in the beautiful yogurt dip, I'll eat it, it'll feel amazing, and I'll have a lovely time, okay? That would have been the initial response, but I had to take a breath. I had to break the pattern. I had to go, take a breath, okay? I then had to recalibrate. I asked myself the question, is that going to serve me tomorrow? The answer is no. And then I delivered by having some water. Same with my order. Your man comes round and he goes, the usual, Mr. Callum? I said, no usual today, Farouk. No usual. Today, I'm going to have my tandoori chicken. And I had a little bit of dal. Just a little bit of dal. And within that, again, I took a breath. Internally, I would automatically go, I have the Madras Plus with the rice, with the naan. But no, that isn't going to serve me. So I took a different action. So it's the same with whatever you're procrastinating on, whatever you're putting off. Just take a breath. When that thought comes in, I remember learning this from Michael Lennon. It's called a productivity pivot. As soon as the thing comes in your mind to do it, so as soon as the thought of, I need to post some content, that's the trigger to do the thing. So it's like, I know for myself, I need to get more, I need to commit to getting myself on Instagram, like I do. I need to get on my stories, and I need to get my personality out there. And I need to make sure that I post. As soon as I get that trigger in my mind of, I haven't posted on Instagram today, I need to put a post up. So I need to take a breath. I need to recalibrate by going, is avoiding and ignoring this signal going to serve me? The answer will be no. And then off the back of that, I will take the action and I will put something up. So again, I think that how can this help you? Well, one, if you've been putting something off, first of all, we all do it. We all do it, and it's okay, and it's completely normal. Secondly, with your clients, they will also put these things off and they will make poor quality decisions, but that's okay. That's okay. But teach them that method. the breathe, recalibrate, deliver. Teach them that specific method, and it will help them stay on track. It will help them take action, and it will help them from an adherence point of view. And when they adhere, do you know what happens? They get results. When they adhere, do you know what also happens? It's not frustrating for you anymore. When they get results, what happens? They're happy. When they're happy and they're getting results, they then refer. They stay longer. They keep paying you, and you don't feel like you're banging your head against a wall. There we go. Never forget, if every one of your clients gave you just one new client, you've doubled your business.
Have you got a client who isn't losing weight right now and you have absolutely no idea why? And maybe you're worrying that if nothing changes, they could drop off at any moment? Well, I've got a free nutrition masterclass for you where I reveal the secret nutrition strategy that guarantees that stuck client loses 2 to 4 pounds in the next 7 days without lowering their calories, upping their cardio, or even tracking macros. Click the link in the description to get access to the free Elite Nutrition Secrets Masterclass and get your client moving in the right direction, stopping them dropping off today.